Hello everyone, this is Hardik with EandM, and today I'm going to show you the Performance Insight Edge app for unified comfort panels. You can go to the Siemens industry online support site and just search for Performance Insight or use this ID number and get to this page and download this app. This app is currently free until I think March of next year. I think there is a date listed right here. So March 1, 2021, it is free to use. You can download the app and just install it. So the app and the files necessary are under this zip file, performanceinsight.zip. I have this already downloaded, so let me go to my TI portal. So here's my TI portal. I have a MTP 700, which is a 7-inch multi-touch unified panel. This is just one simple screen, and then I have 6 tags that we will be interested in. So let me go to my default tag table. And all I'm calling is level 1, 2, pressure 1, 2, temperature 1, 2. So let's say it's a tank and we got 3 variables, tank 1 and tank 2, level, pressure, and temperature. So I'm just going to remote into my panel. So here's my unified comfort panel. I can look at all my options. So all I did is network connection remote and I enable smart server. Make sure you put in a password. If I go to the other options, the other important thing is date and time. So make sure you set the right date and time. And then if you click this icon, there is all these apps. So under Cymatic apps, you will see Cymatic Edge. All you need to do is just enable this checkbox. It does require a license, so make sure you buy the license, but you can activate this and scan it for a trial license. To verify if Edge is active, I usually go here and click on this. It will take me to a web page on the Chrome browser, which is built in on the panel. It takes me just to the local server of the device, and then once you see this page, that means Edge is enabled. While it opens up, let's go to our browser. So right there, Edge management is there. So let's say I can also do it from my PC because now I am connected to my laptop or my PC to the panel. So I know the IP address of this device is 192.168.1.2, and it doesn't like it. So let's see, https:// there we go. It needs HTTPS. So I'm gonna go to the web page. So it took me to the Edge device. So here's an important step: username and password. So make sure under your TI portal, there's options under security and settings, users and roles. So make sure you create a username and password, and then let's go ahead and log in using that username and password. All right. So here is my Edge management option. For now, it is offline. In the future, I think early next year or so, Siemens will have like an whole Edge management, like an app store style, where you can have a central management for all your apps and all your devices. Like I mentioned, I did download the files. So let's go ahead and click on install. You can put it on the memory card, but I have it on my laptop. So I'm just going to go and browse for the files. I put it on my desktop. Sorry, it's under my downloads. So here's my Performance Insight folder. And here are the two apps, so .app. So there's two things needed. One is the data service. So the data service takes the data from the HMI runtime side, brings it up to our Edge app side, and then Performance Insight is the actual app. So let's go ahead and click on data service first and click on install. Now it does take a few minutes to install, so just bear with me. While it's doing this, let's go to our TI portal. Let's look at our tag table. So I have just a bunch of tags, so we saw that already. Let me see my screen. So here's pretty nice. All the graphics and everything is nice. There is new object here, which is the checkbox, which was not there on the comfort panel. It's right here. So all the tools are pre there in the library. There's a bunch of animation objects and a lot of new stuff and improvements, right? So here's my level 1. So if I look at the properties under general process value tag, and that's where it shows right there, it's hiding, it's level 1. So at times I'm doing stuff and moving things around, so I like this default window layout so that everything is defaulted, and right there. So here's my level 1 tag, here's my pressure 1 tag, and temperature 1. Let's go look at this, what it's doing. Oh, so right now it's installing. So let's go ahead and go here, browse, and browse for the second file, which is our Performance Insight app, and click install. So it's going to install both of these apps in the background for us. So while we wait, let's look at different object properties. So again, level 2, pressure 2, temperature 2. Here is just a clock byte that I'm getting from the PLC. Invert bit. So to invert a bit, if I go under events, I kept it at release. So when I release the click, I have the option to invert bit in tag. Now again, this is an option that's built in. And then I have this toggle tag 1, and then I'm gonna do what value, because now it's a bit in the tag and not just a bit by itself. So it's looking at the bit value, so I know it's the first bit, which is 0. So that's that. I created just an alarm simulation. So checkbox is also pretty nice. So right here I have two objects. So selection item 1. So what is it? So it's a tag right here. It's alarm. And then what type? So I put in a range. So 0 and 1. So when it's 1, I check it, and when it's unchecked, it's 0. So I can do a little simple checkbox style. And the same option is there also for a radio button. And now there is this new object, which is touch area. So it's for, because the panels are multi-touch, so you can add that and create a swipe up, left, right, and zoom and pan and stuff like that. Let's go back. Let's see here. One of them is almost installed. Second one is at 75%. So let's wait for it. While we wait, let's look under the management. So there are no apps running. Under statistics, so here's my unified panel. Here is the edge version, memory option, CPU. So I'm running at 54%. I'm almost at 80% of memory. It's got 4 gigs almost storage. Another memory, that's the RAM. Running apps, so we have 4 left, and total 4 are allowed when it installs both the apps. We will only have 2 left, and 4 allowed is fine. Install apps, so we can have maximum 6. Let's look at the settings. So here are some proxy settings. If you have some proxy for your network, here are the system settings, all the logs and all the application development, all that stuff comes up there. So let's go ahead and wait for our app. This one is still at 83%, and I think this is still pending. Yeah, it's not installed yet. So like I said, it takes a while. So there we go. So one of them is installed. Now once this is installed, this one is going to start installing. So there we go, it turned blue. All right. So while it waits to install the second app, let's go ahead and look at this data service app. So when I click that, it will take me to another page. So I think it should work and open something. Oh, there we go. Yep. Again, the same security message. It's not secure. Let's go ahead and click on the web page. So this is what the data structure app looks like. So we need to map out all our IO and our tags. So right here it says there's no variables created yet. So let's go ahead and click on create first variable. And then it says choose an adapter, HMI runtime. Okay, that's interesting. Let's cancel it out. Let's poke around a little bit more. Let's see right there. What is that? Oh, right there are the adapters. So this is an active adapter. So this is an open pipe. So the unified panels use something called open pipe. And then because it's the Siemens app, it's already linked to the HMI runtime. So it knows where the data is coming from. But you can create your own app and create your own custom pipe. Let's go ahead and create a first variable. So tag and name. This tag will be used in the tag definition. And then this is the name of the tag that is shown later in this applications. Okay, so my guess is this is actual level 1, which is the tag name on RTI portal. And we can call this whatever level 1. Data type is integer, and unit, let's say it's in inches. So add variable. Let's make this smaller. Let's go to our tag table so I can make sure I select the right ones, and it's easier this way. So I can add a tag level 2 and call it level 2. So this is the time consuming portion, but once you have that, you will see how easy it is to create stuff and different KPIs and a nice simple dashboard. and how easy it is to configure all this stuff. So I'm going to call it pressure, integer. Let's say it is PSI. I'm going to add another variable. So now it's going to be pressure 2. Let's say it's pressure. That's the name we will call inside our app. And let's call this also PSI. And then what do we have? We have temperature. So let's go ahead and add temperature. Temperature 1. Integer. Let's say is degree Fahrenheit. I'll put capital F for it. We got temperature 1, and next one is temperature 2 for tank 2. Temperature 2, integer, and degree Fahrenheit. Add variable. Oops, it's already in use, so I think I messed up a typo somewhere. So let's say temperature underscore 2, temperature 2, integer 16. There we go. All right. So we got all our level 1, level 2, pressure 1, 2, temperature 1, 2. So we got all our tags. There is another option for aspects here. So let's make this full screen. So it says no aspects created. Create a first aspect that is shown in the application and choose the variables for this aspect. So I know I'm calling it a tank. So let's say I'm going to call it a tank 1. So for tank 1, I want level 1, pressure 1, and temperature 1. So that's the aspect for tank 1. Let's go ahead and add another aspect. So for tank 2, I'm going to call it level 2, pressure 2, temperature 2. Add aspect. So tank 1, tank 2. Okay. So this is done. So I created 6 tags and I created 2 aspects, tank 1, tank 2, and created 3 of each tags in it. Let's go back to our main Edge management page, and you can see this was also installed. So now we have the Performance Insight app. So let's go ahead and click on that. Again, it's going to open up another web page. It's going to do the same thing for security option. So I'm going to say, okay, details, go to the web page. So here is the Performance Insight app. And you can see you can use this app free of charge. A free basic license is there. I'm going to agree. So it's successfully registered. So here is the main dashboard of our plant. So this is how it looks. So let's go ahead and create our dashboard. I'm going to call it tank. I'm going to say, let's just look at last 3 hours for now. Right. And create, and we can change it from here. So if you click here, you can go back to month, date, whatever range you want. Okay. So here's our main dashboard. Let's go ahead and create the different widgets. So here are the different widgets. So we have some graphs, some values, some Gantt charts, some gauges, pie charts, heat map. Let's see. I want to first make sure I can get some values to my Edge app and running, right? So let's say we want level 1. All right, calculation. I want it per minute. All right, hit next. Select the parameters. So here's all my variables. So I want level 1, choose, continue. Oops, let's go back. So what is this? Average. So here's min, max, sum, last, counter, timer. Oh, so if you selected average, it's gonna do its own average calculation and show you the value. If you do last, it will show you the last value. So I like the last value. Another alternate label, some low limits and high limits. Let's say we put in low limit as 20. That's the alert. This is at 40. And then high limit, let's say it's at 70. And then alarm is at 90. All right, let's go next. And show statistics, hit finish. So let's see what our value is here. So let's go ahead and close this out. Let's go to our home page. Here is the option for the runtime. So I'm gonna do start runtime, which actually is open in the background. So with this panels, it's got its own Linux operating system. So there is a little taskbar just like Windows here. And then if you don't see the runtime running and you think it's in a loop, see it did nothing, right? So it's actually running in the background even if we click start runtime, you have to come here and go there. All right, so value is 33. I see 33 right there. Let's change it. Hopefully I can change it. There we go. 84. And it takes a few seconds to get the data through Ethernet to the PC to the Edge app and update on the browser. And hopefully it changes to 84. There we go, 84. What happens if I go, oh, right there, yellow triangle, the little diamond thing. So I think it was a low error or the alarm. So yeah, alarm was set at 90, right? So anything higher than 90 is red, and then the yellow zone was I think 70 to 90. All right, cool. So we did get our value. And then I'm just generating all this random bunch of random values here. So let's minimize this and let's go ahead and go to our settings, add a new widget. Let's go ahead and pick a different option here now. So let's see what are our different options. Let's see, pick up a gauge. Let's call it pressure 1. Again, I'll do minutes. Select the parameter. Right there, pressure 1. That's the one I want. And I want the last value. Click next. Low limit, high limit, I'll do the same. Let's say 10, 20, 80, 90. This time it's asking, okay, what's the value to show? So I'm not sure if it's 0 to 100 or 0 to 200 or 150. Let's just put 150. Hit finish. So now it's going to give me a gauge for 0 to 150. Oh, and it automatically created this green and yellow and all this red zone by the values that I put in. Alright, there is red. Let's get rid of this red. Let's bring it to a nicer value, 48, so that should go away. Let's add a new widget. Let's add our temperature option also. Let's go to this diagram and see what that does. So let's say we'll call it a trend per minute. Hit next, select parameters, and there's options for this KPI. So here's variables, KPIs, assets. All right, let's do this one and then we'll do the KPI and poke around for that. All right, so we were doing a trend screen. So let's go ahead and add everything to the trend. So more parameters. So we got temperature 1, pressure 1, level 1, level 2, pressure 2, temperature 2. Everything is average. I like the last values. So I'm going to change all of them to last. So it's the actual values and not the average values. So let's go ahead and change all them to last. So they're all last. Let's go ahead and look at next. So we have nothing much here. Hit next and finish. So now it's going to create a nice trend screen. It's pretty small. What's that right there? So I can make it a little bigger so I can see it. And voila. So we started doing this, and right there is all our trend values for the past 10-15 minutes or so. All right, let's look at all these options here. So now there is configuration, status mapping, new status mapping, KPIs. Yep, that's what we were looking for, KPIs. So let's create a new KPI type, name. So let's say I want to look at average temperature. So call it to variable average unit. It could be anything, so I'm just gonna call it unit. Let's see, formula. So I got that. Add operand. So I'll call it variable 1 plus variable 2, and then divide it by 2, so I can take the average. Hit save. Alright, so to variable average. Let's go back to our configuration, delete unused KPI instances. I think it will delete it. No unused KPI instance available. Okay, so it's there. Okay, it didn't delete it. User information. Let's look at the settings. Usage information. What are we using? User list, if there is any user list. All right, let's go back to our plant configuration. So here's our dashboard. Let's look at a new widget. Let's look at value again. This time, let's call it temperature average. Again, I'm going to select minutes. Hit continue. Let's go here this time. New KPI instance. So tank 1 and 2 average. I'm gonna look for KPIs which are typed or without KPIs. So this option if it's only used one, and this is if we defined it. So I'm gonna select the type that we already defined, and then I can link here temperature 1 and temperature 2, and it's the same thing. I'm going to do last value and last value right there. Hit save. Let's see what it does. So I got the edge KPI. Next, hit finish. And here is that values. So it's got 89.5 average. Let's look at our values right there. Oh, it did change 85.5. So it's just doing an aggregate of these two values and dividing by 2. The values are jumping too fast, so I don't think we can look at it like what it's actually doing. Let's change these values. Alright, so let's say if I click finish to the dashboard, what does it do? So I can look at more data. Let's see, does it show day, anything? So it's trying to pull the data for the whole day. But I think the panel was just rebooted. So yeah, it's only collecting when we started the data. So let's go back for the last 3 hours, hit OK. And then there is this little icon for the more details. So let's look at the details for our level 1 value. So I'm gonna make a bunch of changes and see what it does. So it should now come back to 0. So here is the values, and then if I scroll here, choose the histogram. So all this was done automatically from the app. I didn't create anything. So all I did is go to this option for the data service and connect all the tags, created our aspect, which I don't know what would be the purpose of this aspect. I think just to group everything the way we want it. And then under performance insight, all the widgets and the dashboards are easy to create. It's all built in. You just map the values you want and it's all configured for you. Thank you.